All right, that's enough because then we have to pay for that shit. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Ridgewood, New York.
New York City.
And now we're entering season 2, continuing to episode 7. You know, we're taking a bit of a hiatus. We had some listeners that were like, yo, when's the product coming out?
It was like, did the Go Home show go home?
Exactly, that's what it was. And some of you guys who are probably looking at us through our YouTube, we got our sponsor, Foco Coconut Water, on this fucking hot ass day.
And a little essential.
To satisfy all your sequential and thirst needs.
I'm waiting for somebody to throw us that sponsor bag and then it could be right here.
That's how it works.
Just a little bag.
Mm-hmm. Hold up. Fucking hit the spot. Hold on.
Yeah, for both of our sponsors. Essential. Like an old school Pepsi ad. But nah, this is going to be a hot summer. Like you said, this is season 2. I feel like this is right. This should be like season 2 premiere.
This is season 2, you know.
Season 2, we're moving into summer.
We ain't canceled yet.
Yeah, season 1 was a little sample. You know, a little taste for y'all.
Of the Go Home craziness. We had stories. We had Mania. We had Virgil.
You know, a lot of stuff happened. You know, since then. You know, how many times R-Truth won the belt since?
A lot. I actually love it too.
18 times.
18 times.
He passed Flair already?
Oh, not only did he pass Flair, but I think he passed probably Charlotte for winning the title in consecutive title matches events. But honestly, it's been, again, I said it from the beginning. This was gonna be possibly the most entertaining thing we're gonna have in a long time, and it's been proven.
No, it really has. Like, they've really done. We'll touch on this later, but WWE as a whole has been very bad. But the 24/7 stuff has been like really great.
R-Truth carrying the fucking brand.
Both.
Smartest thing Vince did all year, going with him to sending that around him.
You know,
cause that could have flopped if that was like a different wrestler or character.
No, I think that's very true. Like, it cut on the wrong person. It could have flopped, and people like, why? But R-Truth and Carmella has been selling the fuck, and Drake Maverick has been selling the fuck out of this 24/7. So, kudos to those three. I think those three are like probably the shining lights right now in WWE.
The big three.
Ain't too many lights being shown over there, but they are the shining lights of WWE. So, kudos to R-Truth, Carmella, and Drake.
You know why? Because they people that don't need like highest expectations or belts on them. Like, even though he does have the belt, like, they could just have fun with anything. They could do anything, cut any promo. Carmella stepped her game up in the past, few years and stuff like that. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, I want to see who's going to take this off. I've said this when it first started. I would love to see who's going to be the first serious wrestler to grab this shit.
Yeah.
I want to know who's going to be like the first, like an AJ Styles or a Finn Balor. Like, give me this, and then I'll start just to like throw it off a little.
Well, who you think will be the first?
Who will be the first? I know. See Cesaro.
I already know it's not gonna be Brock Lesnar.
Brock
it ain't gonna be Brock.
24/7.
Because we already know Brock is only gonna wrestle a certain amount of dates.
No, we said this in the last episode. If Brock was to like kidnap the 24/7,
it would be,
and go to his cabin.
But then at the same time, it's kind of like you really gonna go out your way to drive to the fucking middle of nowhere, fucking Saskatchewan, Canada.
R-Truth is looking for Brock.
Imagine him. We got like one of those like moose raccoon hats.
It would
trying
be great.
To find Brock.
Actually, I do want to kind of give a bit of a nod to a buddy of mine who came up with the idea, and I thought this was fucking genie-fucking-is. Bing. It's like somehow, he's still looking for the 24/7 title. I'm talking about R-Truth. Somehow he ends up, walking into the Firefly Funhouse. And then it's just like a quick cameo. It's like, where the fuck am I?
That could happen though, because on Raw there was like a little snippets of like the characters popping up. So
and then there was something, I don't know if y'all seen SmackDown with Aleister Black, and like he was cutting his. He was like
creative. I forgot about him.
Nah, but he was cutting his promo. In the middle of the promo, he looks over, like, because he's been like challenging people to fight him, and like somebody came in the room, so people was like thinking probably
that was the writer that forgot about him like a few months ago. Finally found Aleister Black.
So I
You know,
guess
the funny thing is that when you said that, so you know how lately they've been kind of throwing these like questions at people during like these commercial breaks to kind of keep them entertained. Because apparently Daddy Vince and Titan Creative, they don't want to have any wrestling matches during commercials,
which I feel is fucked up. And
it's gonna mess up the flow. I understand why they're doing it, but it's not gonna fly. But going back to those questions, they're kind of going back, like, you know, giving nicknames. And you have to answer, like, you know, who's the man, and, you know, and blah 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 and all this. And I remember somebody did ask a question. It was like, who is the Bulgarian Brute? And the kid was like, who? And then, of course, we all been waiting for it. So they also asked, the first time they asked a question, and it was like, who's the best in the world? And then, you know, something like Shane McMahon is like, okay, but it's like, that's not the answer you were waiting for. So coming back, we're moving into the second week. Same shit happens, and we're like, everybody's waiting. It's like, who is the best in the world? And of course, you had to wait for the CM Punk chant, and it happened. So kudos to that 9-year-old kid. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Now, how do you feel about the no wrestling during commercial breaks, Malcolm? I feel like it's kind of like slap in the face.
I think I'm mixed on it because I hate when I'm watching like two good
Matches
going on. Like, it might be a Finn Balor versus Andrade, and then it goes to commercial and it's like on a small screen. It's like, yo, they don't deserve that disrespect right there.
But you know what though? I actually like when SmackDown does that.
Oh yeah, with the picture.
Yeah. Because Raw, they'll cut you out, and you know what's really messed up? It's like you see the matches, and there's kind of like that pause, so you already know they cut into commercial.
It's like the Suicide Dot or the Tope.
Yeah, and you know it's just like, hold up, this segment has been kind of going on for at least a good solid 8 minutes. I'm waiting for that one part where they're just gonna be like, oh, okay,
we'll be back on Raw.
We'll be back on Monday Night Raw, and then commercials for Total Divas and Total Bellas
and the Miz show,
and then we come back and cut to commercial break, and basically what are we having is just like, oh boy, did you guys miss this? No fucking shit.
Like, the match is over, you see everybody like leaving
I
the
think
ring.
it was like maybe a year or two ago. I think Sin Cara or Kalista
Sin Cara?
I think Kalista won.
You mean Botch Cara?
Yeah, him too. I think one of them won like during the commercial break. It was like one of the first few times like somebody actually won during. It was like on a Raw.
Why?
I don't know. They just decided to do something different. But I remember when they came back and it was like, oh, he won over the commercial break. I was like,
by the
wow.
way, he ended up re-signing some 4 or 5 years. Why?
Who?
Sin Cara.
Getting that money. Getting that Vince money.
Must be nice to get paid. To
like
not
Andrew
do
Bynum
anything.
said, there's a bank in every city.
You know, Vince got that extra bag now, so anybody could get paid crazy.
That Saturday money.
There's people that do dark matches.
Hey, must be the money.
Got that Saturday money.
That blood money.
We ain't even gonna go into review, but how did you guys like
Know who got that Saudi money?
Undertaker, Goldberg?
Oh yeah. You know, Goldberg getting his $2.1 million.
To get dropped on his head.
No, he pretty much pays to get a concussion. He was just like, oh, this is what's gonna happen.
Yo,
Not only did he suffer one bad concussion, because this is not the first time. He basically banged his head on his way to get out, and then he bangs his head again in the ring post.
And then he's bleeding doing the promo.
And it's just like, dude, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with him?
What is wrong with you?
He thought it was 98.
And rightfully so. Like, that match proved to... It's sad when you can honestly say Taker actually did...
better than somebody?
He carried the match.
Yeah, Taker shouldn't be carrying nobody at this stage right now.
And Goldberg legit proved himself to be exactly what I've said for a long time.
You sound like Matt Riddle.
No,
Matt Riddle
but
some shit.
it's true.
but
he exposed himself to be the worst wrestler ever.
But hold on, scratch that. His last match before when he retired with Brock, he had a good performance in that match for what it was.
Let me ask you something. How long was that match?
Of course, we know the match was fast. We already know that's a typical Goldberg match. Like,
but that's what it is. That's what it is. He can't go anything past 7 minutes. I don't remember the last time. I think if you go back to every match he's ever had in WCW, you know how much is equal to?
The average time is probably like 6.5 minutes.
No, I think in total, like I think you can legit fucking fit that into one of those like Snapchat videos.
Probably could.
Like that's how fast all his matches were.
I want to say I think probably the longest Goldberg match probably was like maybe like a championship. No, probably has been WrestleMania 20. That might have been like his longest match since
Jesus,
probably ever.
I wish I can forget that match.
He probably had a longer one in WCW, but I think that was probably his longest match since. Like
I agree.
Like the last
and
one.
It was terrible. Terrible.
We got Chris Barkley in the building.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I was at that one.
You seen Goldberg's the CTE flaring up in Saudi, like.
Especially because it was hot too, super hot. These niggas is old, getting dropped.
I see the timeline, like everybody's going crazy because I ain't watching, so I'm looking like, yo, what's going on? Everybody's going crazy about it.
Some people were defending it, like no.
Nah, you couldn't defend that one. That was...
Goldberg literally he ruined that one. I didn't know that they brought back the brain buster bag. I thought that was one of the no moves. Fucking jackhammer, like brain buster, like what?
He went for that lift. Whoa, buddy!
I was just like, and there was he complained the last time on his last run because he felt that he didn't have enough time to really prepare himself.
Okay. Oh, for that Kevin Owens when he got the strap to Lesnar.
Yeah, he's like, I only had probably about 4 or 5 weeks to prepare for this.
Cause he too busy working on his interests, like coming out on stage doing the pyro. He like, damn, no more pyro. Banging his head on doors. Telling the crowd that he doesn't suck. Like,
you suck.
Nah, he just wants to be a hero. He just wants to be for his family.
I wish that because I know his son was there, and I know
his son got. And whoever watches wrestling, like, yo, your dad fucking sucks.
I would have loved to. I would have definitely loved to see that little putz get fucking speared or something. And you know for a fact that he looks like a little putz. He reminds me of Bobby Hill from fucking King of the Hill.
Yo, Chris is on one tonight.
I can't be too mad at Goldberg though. He got a big bag
for being trash. A big bag of what? Of shite.
Of money, nigga.
He got IV.
What you talking about? He got that Saudi money for doing the minimum.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Cash out, King.
That Saudi money. I don't know how the Prince felt about this. Honestly, that match was entertaining.
He paid him
all the wrong reasons, but it was like watching that match was really like watching a full-fledged car wreck.
I cringed. I don't remember the last time I cringed at a match, like how fucking terrible it was.
Probably the Goldberg Brock match.
I don't even know how much Uncle Dave gave that match. He might have given it like -3 stars, and it's happened before. It was fucking terrible. It was horrible. My eyes will now forever be unclean after watching that garbage. And I feel bad for Taker because he was really putting in that work. And some people were kind of giving him shit at the end because of the tombstone. I was like, no, that was fucking Goldberg's receipt.
I gotta cut you up. After watching Raw this Monday, I do not feel bad for Taker.
Now he had to come back because I'm pretty sure Taker was like, this is not gonna be my last match for a long time.
And honestly, I was really surprised. Some people were kind of like, how this makes any sense at all. But I thought it was a nice surprise. I haven't been, surprised.
It came out of left field.
It came out of left field. I was not expecting, and I was just like, okay.
And then you got the whole WrestleMania build. He was like, yeah, he beat me, so I can stand by
Roman. So it was good. Like I actually, I appreciate it, and everyone pretty much in that ring had history, apart from Drew. But again, this is actually good for Drew.
It's gonna be lit though, because after
is it gonna get good for Drew?
Nah, because after
they're putting him out there.
After Extreme Rules, Undertaker they gonna hold up Roman Reigns and be like, yo, you're the real dead man now. You know it's coming. Like, you're the real dead man. Roman gonna start getting powers. It's gonna be lit.
He already earthed him to hell at WrestleMania. He had to carry the whole match.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that was
brutal.
Who?
The Roman Taker match.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the backstory. He'll be like, yo, he carried me when I wasn't all the way there, and I had respect for Roman, so I will fight by him. And now y'all.
Yo, you seen Taker's hair?
I haven't seen. I just saw like a little clip. He like kind of balding at the top. Or what you mean?
He gotta let it go, son.
No, he had a ball taker already.
He's not that bad. Like he's not Shawn Michaels bad.
It's getting there.
You know,
It's starting like right here now. Like,
he got the split. He's kind of like Sting was kind of like he was getting that baldy spot as well. You know,
they all gotta come home. Like Triple H, I applaud Triple H now for just coming
I'm
home.
about to have the WWE Ball Championship soon. Like if you ball,
ain't nothing wrong with that. Bald is beautiful.
My man Stone Cold made Ball look good. Come on, man.
Anything else from Super Showdown that guys liked or remembered? I actually thought it was like a decent show.
I want to know if the Saudi prince were able to take their commemorative sofas home.
Yeah, you asked. I feel like somebody somewhere that took one of the bitches home.
Yeah, you know that.
Probably Randy Orton.
Very nice and chic.
He loaded that on the private jet. Like, you think I'm gonna leave this shit here in Saudi, Vince? Like,
as he said to TMZ, I got kids, damn it.
He's just like, I don't give a fuck. I got kids to feed.
He probably put that couch down in his little, area room he got to himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Viper Zone.
Yeah, the Viper Zone.
I'm surprised Randy Orton never had like a talk show in WWE.
I don't know. No.
I think the only one close was when he was teaming up with Edge, and he was kind of like the little co-host.
Radio RKO.
Yeah, so
which was actually, I still think it's a very great tag team.
Even the name fit. Because sometimes they try to throw those names.
But that was actually a tag team. Like I was like, I fucks with this. This was dope.
I loved it. I think that like helped Randy a bit too. Like it helped both of them. But
it was really a dope pairing from like both guys.
Yeah.
But we got into the Super Showdown. Was going to Stomping Grounds. I thought Stomping Grounds was good too until
I thought it was good.
Somewhere later.
You mean Super Showdown Part 2?
No, I wouldn't call it all that.
It was Part 2. I mean, it's just different results.
Rematches and whatnot.
But I must say, I must say, Stomping Grounds was actually good.
It was this year's version of Great Balls of Fire.
No, that was trash.
We didn't like Great Balls of Fire.
Actually, the main event I believe was the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title. I believe.
No, I think that was Samoa Joe and Lesnar.
That was still
the 4-Way was I think SummerSlam.
Yes.
Because that's Samoa Joe and Lesnar. That was like the whole.
Yeah, because I was very excited for that match, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, even the pre-show for Stomping Ground was good though.
Yeah.
Tony, the 205.
Stomp these grounds.
Drew Gulak finally winning the big one.
My man Drew, no fly zone. I missed that gimmick. Yeah. No fly zone in 205. I was happy that Becky won.
Yeah, but Lacey though.
I kind of expected that. I actually did like it. For some weird reason, some people were like, "It's Bray Wyatt watch." I was like, "Why?"
Oh, for the special guest?
Like, why would Bray Wyatt be in this match? Like, sit down, you mark.
Yeah, Seth Rollins, I think he explained it well. Why, like, that was a good choice.
It was a really good choice.
It's like the Undertaker. It was like left field. Nobody was really expecting.
But because Seth was legit beating anyone who ever thought about considering, becoming the special guest referee, having Lacey Evans, and I was like, okay. But this is where I also have a fucking problem with this happening. Because we sniffed it. I sniffed it. And I hope that other people did.
Once you got the referee, the interference.
Becky was going to be on there. And I have...
they're in a relationship, right?
Exactly. No fucking shit, Michael, because you guys legit blowing that up.
Yo, every 5 minutes, like, you see the
Becky
backstage.
The man is dating the man.
Nobody should have never told Vince they was going out. Because ever since now, he's like, genius.
It's like high
Let's get them in everything. Come on, man.
Holy shit. There was and I believe it was Lance Storm, who met him a couple of times. Awesome guy. Dry humor, but his dry humor is kind of like you have to catch it, and you're just like, did you just make a funny? He's like, yes, I did. So this is kind of going back with Charlotte and Andrade's.
Mm-hmm.
There was a photo of Charlotte, taking her salsa dances and all that. And Lance, and she tweeted that out. Lance came out, replied, it was like, oh boy, don't let Vince know that you know how to dance.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
It's like, honey, kayfabe.
Gonna be dancing all SmackDown.
That's exactly what's gonna end up happening.
Yeah,
she's gonna end up being the next Summer Rae.
And he was like, Andrade could dance.
Andrade could dance. He's Mexican. You know how to dance salsa. Is like, Why do you assume because I am Spanish that I know how to dance salsa?
I can see that right now, like in the office.
Oh. God damn it. We got to make this happen.
It's like Dancing with the Stars.
It's like, I got this. Charlotte and Andrade's mixed tag team champions. Yes. We're going to call them Sharsasa.
This legit might be the funniest episode of the Go Home Show. I am fucking almost in tears over here. We not even 20 minutes.
We didn't even get through the whole stomping.
I'm also very relaxed from my sunbathing days and not giving a fuck today. So of course, you know.
Yeah, I catching the summer version. Us, we out. Open.
Shorts is out.
The shorts is out. We don't know how to act.
Got shorts, J's, got fitted jerseys. We out here.
It's just like, fuck it. Like my man Fale would say, fuck him.
Fuck him for real.
Fuck him.
I'll let your night sing today.
I would say though, Ricochet beating Joe was a surprise for me. I thought they would at least get Joe. You know what Joe is becoming? I feel like he's becoming a new Bray Wyatt.
No.
No. But no. A lot of talk and a lot of losses right behind it as well.
Yeah, but
I don't think Joe deserves that.
No, but you see what they do with the loss. Now they bumped him up
to Kofi, but it's still like. That's like with the 50-50 booking. You can't have this nigga lose one night and then tag somebody like, all right, now he's gonna be a challenger. He just lost.
But that's the thing about Joe. Even if I take a loss, I'm still gonna be fighting. I'm still coming back at you.
And then he's not gonna be Kofi.
Of course not.
So that's 2 losses. Like that's what I'm saying.
I think the first time, spitballing it out there. I think the first time, it ends up being Kofi. Then they'll end up having this rematch down the line in Toronto for SummerSlam.
Fuck y'all. I got the championship in SummerSlam. That was out.
And maybe it might be a thing. Which, by the way, I'm also still kind of a little bothered because I remember SummerSlam was supposed to be in LA this year.
I remember that too.
And then somehow out of the left field, it was like, oh, it's in Toronto. It's just like, how the fuck did this happen? And we didn't know about it.
Yeah, Toronto SummerSlam, they don't really like go.
Yeah,
it don't sound SummerSlam-y.
Keep it count, fellas.
Shout out to Toronto. Shout out to the Six. I won NBA champions.
Six.
We have a couple of black champions on deck.
Who?
In WWE.
Oh, R-Truth and Kofi.
Ricochet.
Yeah.
Doing it for the culture.
Doing it for the culture and the flips.
Don't be fooled by that light skin.
So we got 3. Making our way up in the world.
Making my way downtown. Walking fast.
That would team.
Dream. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to still go back to Showdown. I was very impressed with the Heavy Machinery and Daniel Bryan and Rowan match. That match was fucking good, too. Like, even both of the tag teams, the New Day.
You mean Stomping Grounds?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Super Show?
Yeah.
Because, Daniel Bryan does not associate himself with such foolery.
Yeah, he wasn't going over there.
No.
Shout out.
I need you. No.
But can I say something kind of going back into Saudi Arabia and the Super Show Showdown? Basically every show they've had have pretty much been having legends. Mm-hmm. There's that one match. And a lot of it is per request of the Prince himself.
Prince wants legends.
I remember when he asked for Macho Man the first time, and it's just like, yeah, dude, he's dead. It's like,
look at that Macho Man.
That don't mean well, could we get him back?
Can we get him? Like he's no longer with us. It's like, how much does he want? Ooh yeah. So, I'm kind of waiting around to see what would be the next match, the next Legends match that they'll try to fit in. Because I think the next one I believe is November 11th.
Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
Shawn Michaels and Triple H. No.
It might be. I'll throw that in the ring now.
It could be.
Because I don't think there's really too many legends out there that's still going.
Shit, next thing I know, you're probably going to see Hogan and Flair. The match we never got to see.
Yo, if they book that out,
you're not wrong. Because TMZ called Flair on the Bulls again yesterday.
Flair doesn't. Flair cannot die. The man has survived everything. I think he's even survived Ebola.
Yeah, plane
crashes. He's been struck by lightning, multiple heart attacks, ex-wives. debt, everything.
Everything.
The guy is untouchable.
Untouchable.
Like, he is ruthless.
I'm mad you said that now. Now that's gonna come to truth.
No
that,
aggression.
that Hogan Flair match.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch that shit. Like,
You know what's gonna happen.
How?
And then we're gonna get the Hulk Hogan shit. Oh my god,
Dun,
man.
dun, 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 dun,
I don't think he can play real American in Saudi Arabia.
What you mean?
He was like, I am a real.
I'm a real man. And then all you see is just Fox News is gonna be all over this. It's like, oh, it's gonna happen, but it actually already did. Cause didn't he appear in one of them? And they play the Real American.
I would just love to see an entrance of Real American in Saudi Arabia. Like, I would fucking pay premium for the W Network.
Can you help my pride? You gotta need a man.
Like I could see like Vince pinching it to the Prince. You want Hogan? And then nah.
Now, Hogan?
You mean that? Whoa! Like, you can't say that.
Take the Hulk. Take the Hulkster. But I definitely give Stomping Grounds a thumbs up. Not 2, but I give it a thumbs up. It was solid.
What was your favorite match? Because I was loving the Daniel Bryan tag team match.
That and Joe and Ricochet has my two faves from the night. Like, I was really impressed by the heavy machinery and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I think they made Daniel Bryan, like I said he was going to do, he made them look good as a tag team. That's something to built up on.
That's the small package.
For me, I definitely say one of my favorite matches was actually the Roman and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that was their best match.
I think that was that for me, you know, I don't know what the grade of that is, which I will probably check in my Google phone. Plug.
That Google money. If y'all trying to sponsor us.
But that was a phenomenal match.
Yeah, Google. Let's talk about Roman Reigns' Shield Brethren.
Oh, and by the way, Roman is back. He's officially back, like health-wise. Like
He's back. I'll get into that later. That you know that he's back because I got a lot of things like built up. But he's back. But I want to get into his Shield Brethren, Seth Rollins, Mr. Twitter,
Mr. Monday Night,
Mr. Twitter Fingers, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins. I don't know if you guys are wrestling fans, so you guys should know. Like Seth Rollins was all over the place on Twitter.
Don't know how to act.
Don't know how to act.
Do not know how to act.
But
he got
knows
himself
how to tweet.
Getting himself some Irish pussy,
He's
so to
coming
speak.
after everybody.
And he's trigger happy. He got the title. He got the girl. He's getting it nonstop.
And he got the money. Remember the bank account. He got the money.
Hey,
Everybody-
apparently, you know, room 605 is.
everybody catching bullet holes.
And everybody. Now, it was really... Because at first, I thought it was like, you know, like on Twitter, there's like fake profiles and stuff. So I thought it was like Rollins throwing shots at Ospreay. I was like, really? But then when I was like, wow, this is really Rollins. Like,
Yeah, but he was weak at the same time because he was saying how, oh, we got the better high flyer out here and all this shit. And just like...
He got to back the company up, though.
Yo, like, shut the fuck up.
No, we talked about this too, Malcolm. The words came from Seth, but Vince was on the mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because like we said, if niggas is about to go to war, you have to show who you rolling with. Like, yo, I'm here. And I'm riding with you, so I'm not.
Nah, but he was
for the tweets.
He was beat not only with that, but he was also, you know, like going at Moxley, saying he took his ball home and left.
Yeah, I thought that was a low blow.
I thought I was just like, yo, that's your boy. You really decided to really throw it out there like that.
I really don't think there's nothing with that. I think that they probably behind the scenes probably laughing.
But that's the thing. That sounds like Vince because that has been in like numerous promos before. If somebody has like left WWE. I remember JR and Rock has said it when Stone Cold had his little fiasco with Lesnar. Like, Rock has said the same words. Like, he took his ball and went home. So, when Seth said it, I'm like, it kind of sounds like Vince a little bit. Like, if Seth Rollins was like, yeah, he didn't like creative.
Yeah, but the thing he was kind of going on and saying, he was like, you know, some people are cut out to be in the WWE. Some people are not. He was like, oh, I felt, you know, a bit wrong because he went on a podcast to share his displeasures.
But yes, he should.
You know, and he was like, and, you know, how do you go ahead and do that for a company that gave you everything? And it's just like, granted, I definitely understand that.
The reason I didn't want to touch on that too much, because I didn't know if that was, like, coming off as a real personal thing. That's, like,
You don't know if it was a shoot.
Yeah, you don't know what really was what that like the
work yourself into a shoot.
The Will Ospreay thing, you know, the companies versus each other. All right, that's cool. You know, that's the business thing. But these are people that, you know, been on the road together. You know, been with each other for years. So I don't know. We don't really know where that's coming from.
That is true.
That's why I didn't really touch on that because a couple of months from now or years from now, they could be laughing at that. Like that could be. We don't know what that is because remember back in the day, the click days when like WCW dudes used to go at WWF dudes, but behind the scenes they best friends.
When Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns jumped ship to AEW and like the Outsiders 2.0.
Roman backed him up too. You seen that little like Roman was like, yeah, he the best wrestler in the world. You heard what my man said.
The funniest joint was when Baron Corbin tried to get into it and he was like, yeah, I don't know who you are, but I have more like something like that, and he was like, yeah, that's why Raw sucked.
Like, shut up, Meg. But he literally tried to go at Ospreay, and then this is what I felt was weak. Like, weak sauce. Because he was just like, yeah, you know, even with a month out with a back injury, my bank account is still larger than yours. It's like, how is that fucking relevant, dude?
Yeah, you're getting WWE money.
Like, how is that relevant? And then he's saying he's like the best, you know, the best performer and the best wrestler, and I'm just kind of like,
no, I wouldn't say he's not the best performer. He's not even the best performer.
How many 5-star matches have you had, Seth Rollins? AKA Kobe Black. Yeah, I'm putting a government name out there. Acting like I don't know. Like, how many 5-star matches?
I think he has 3.
None.
Nah, he has that.
None.
Even the scene at SummerSlam?
None. No
Really?
5-star matches.
But then again, I don't put too much credit into that because David Meltzer these days.
No, that is very true.
That is
true. Because someone's going to be like, well, he didn't have a fight. He didn't have that fight in Japan, so it doesn't matter. And it's just like, no.
Because that AJ Styles match, that could have been in Japan, and we would have known. Who would have known what Meltzer would have graded that?
Which one?
The recent one with AJ Styles, the great match they had. Yeah.
You would get that 8 if it was a Tokyo.
Yeah, so we don't know what that
Tokyo. Which, by the way, I know they're out there doing their Japan tour. Triple H being part of the
the Bullet Club.
No, it's the club.
Nah, he's part of the WWE Bullet Club. Triple H is enjoying himself.
He's just like yeah, we get this too sweet.
I saw like a picture. They was all in the corner. Triple H was like, you didn't see it? Yo, Triple H is having the time of his life right now in Tokyo. I think he's having more fun.
I bet he is. As he
like,
should.
All the wrestlers that's from like in Japan that's wrestling for WWE coming home. Like Triple H is probably having the most fun on that tour right now. Dope, too sweet. Yeah, Triple H, you're a badass. But no, with the click.
Yeah, but I honestly like again going back to that whole thing with, you know, Seth Rollins and Ospreay, like it really show a lot of people's, I guess, intelligence, sort of say, in terms of wrestling. Mm-hmm. Because some people are, because you got these hardcore WWE fanboys, they're going to go and just like, yeah, you know, Ospreay, all he does is just flips and he doesn't do anything. He's only good enough for 205 Live or NXT. He wouldn't make it. He can't survive. He's not a big star. Suck a fucking cock. Like, get the fuck out of here. First of all, this is why I have a problem, especially when people decide to like talk shit about 205 Live, because they look at it as like as some sort of a demotion.
Yeah, like minor leagues.
It's like it's nothing. Like you're just an add-on, and that's the problem. Also, creative has had a problem with not making it important enough. For example, let's look at New Japan. Their junior weight division is stacked. You know, they have their best of the super juniors. Like, they make that prestigious.
Like that weight class has.
Exactly. And a lot of people who've actually have held that 205 Cruiserweight Championship, they're actually been more than worthy, you know, apart from TJP, because, you know, I'm glad he got fired. That's no here nor there. You know, but they really do make it seem like, I hope they don't stick him at 205. And it's like, but wouldn't you want to see that division flourish? Wouldn't you want to be entertained? Like, why are you downgrading that division because it's 205? Same thing like, you have some of these guys that are NXT, you know, they don't work in the main roster, and it's like, but do you watch NXT? No. So then why the fuck why are you honestly sitting here and telling me that, they're not going to make it, but you don't watch the product? or why are these people, why are they not getting pushed into the main card? Why do I have to fucking wait, and like an hour before the actual pay-per-view to see these matches? And it's just like, why? Because you people show no fucking interest. You know how many times I've been to a lot of these live events and there's 205 and people decide to leave? It's a lot.
That's the equivalent of when people talk about rap and then they talk about how they want to hear real lyricists.
Fuck out of here. They don't know shit.
And then when the real lyricist comes on, the album comes out, you see the album sales and it's like low. And it's like, yeah, y'all really don't want real.
Y'all don't know shit.
Yeah, y'all really don't want that.
But again, like, you got these people that legit leave after SmackDown, and 205 is gonna go on. They fucking leave like they hit, like they're literally trying to fucking beat the 8 o'clock traffic. Or 5 o'clock or whatever.
About that SmackDown 205 live taping, I always feel like it should be before, just because I know it's a school night.
That's honestly that's what they started to do. They did change that up.
When it was like the mixed match, they had it before SmackDown. Like 205, I feel like should be before, even if it's not live. Everybody's coming in fresh, and then it's not before after SmackDown,
because they're always gonna have like that dark match that always.
And then you're going on after the dark match.
Yeah. But I honestly do feel that was a problem, and I think they did change that up. I haven't been to a SmackDown event yet, because I know that actually happened after Mania.
Well, Papa H took over 205 Live now. So.
Yeah.
I had a feeling once like there was like a string of like real great matches. Even before it came out, I'm like, hold up, something different. And it was like, Triple H is control. I was like, oh, that's fine.
But the thing is, even though he took over, like they lost like half the roster.
No, they really did. They started to split a lot of people up. But like I feel like it shouldn't. They should be more into it. Like you should have those guys from Raw. You should have those guys from SmackDown. They shouldn't be just exclusive to just the cruiserweight. Like you can split them up. It's fine. You can bring some of those NXT guys. Like just make it important enough.
Yeah, that's like I feel like if they said like if Fox wants a 3-hour block, maybe 205 should be that first hour, and then have SmackDown. Because I'm telling 8 to 10.
That first tournament what they had for the Cruiserweight Classic, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like everything was looking promising.
They were stacked. They had Zack Sabre Jr. on there. They had Kota Ibushi.
The Brian Kendrick.
Like it was a stacked every
Menelik before he had to do moves.
Yeah, because like his moves, like they called him, like you want to talk about someone who's known as the king of the ropes. This guy done some real fucking sick shit, and it was amazing. It was fucking awesome. But you know what? It definitely got different. It got watered down. It became a spot filler.
Yeah, I feel like that worked. Like the show, how they produced it the first time, that would work perfect on Fox Sports.
Yeah, because they said like a sports type of feel.
Yeah, the tournament feel. You know how they was displaying
the in-ring. That's how they have to do it.
Even the commentary and stuff, like everything was like well done. So
it was dope.
Hopefully they built that back up, because there's a lot of people still like in NXT, and then they doing stuff for like Evo that they could just like bring up and stuff like that.
Yeah, even my son had that idea. Like if you had to carry the 205 Live Championship for 205 days, you can like pick a brand you want to join. Type that was like the
graduation.
Yeah, like if you carry the strap for 205 days to go along with the name, then you could go to like Raw or SmackDown if you see fit. Just as like. If you use 205 Live as like a buffer for somebody like a Oni Lorcan, who won't really get over with the casuals first time through the ramp, like somebody. So you just use him as 205 Live, build him up, and they be like, yeah, he carried the 205 Live Championship, so that means.
I can kind of see what you're talking about.
Just like a buffer for like guys like that would, because Ricochet wouldn't need it, because as you see, he's super over.
But at the same time, that's it. Kind of goes into what I'm saying.
Like a demotion.
It's people should not look at that division as a demotion. It should not be that way at all. Like even when Enzo went down there and they split him and Cass up.
He kind of brought it up.
He brought it up. It became more relevant. Like a lot of people started to tune in a little bit more, and he did. He helped resurrect that because it got to a point that it was like, what are you guys doing?
He had them in the main event.
Yeah.
In the main event.
They had him closing out fucking Monday Night Raw.
Well, they could like just parallel and go off like what NXT's doing.
What you mean?
Like how they doing their own thing. They're not really worried about the main roster. Like, they just do their own thing. Whatever happens. People gonna get called up, of course, eventually. But like we're doing our own thing. We could build up our little fan base. and stuff like that, so things could get better for them.
And I used to get mad. 'Cause, like there was a lot of matches that they would just put on the pre-show. I was like, why is this on the pre-show? This should be on the fucking main card.
Especially if you got like 2 main events. Say they got the Raw belt and the SmackDown belt. Put that in between that.
Yeah, because that is like the main belt on 205 Live. That should be.
It's the only belt in 205.
That is true.
Yeah.
I told you they need like a tag team belt down there.
Yeah, but you know what? I agree.
They have no roster for it though.
They don't, because they just keep breaking it down. They keep breaking it down. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
it would be great. It would honestly be great. But there's less of importance into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of really been the problem with the product.
That is true. We'll touch on that later. But before we go into WWE's and their shenanigans, let's go over to our New Japan Pro Wrestling aficionado. Talk about the G1.
The G1 Classic. It starts this next Saturday, July 6th.
They put the G&G unit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Imagine if 50 Cent would have like opened up a G1 back in the day. G-Unit.
We coming live with
Get the fuck out of here.
we coming live with my man Okada. It's your boy Tony Yayo.
Yeah, boy. I'm definitely super fucking excited for this year's G1.
Who do you have?
Winning it all?
Mm-hmm. Winning it all. The whole shebang and bang.
I gotta go with the head of a certain faction of Los Ingobernables de Japón, going with Tetsuya Naito.
Okay.
I definitely have him as being my winner of this year's G1. He's overdue. I kind of want to see him actually hold both titles, the IWGP Intercontinental title and the heavyweight title.
Dude, does New Japan does that like kind of like a
No,
double
but
champion?
he's been talking a lot about it, and I'm all for it.
No, that's cool. I like when promotions add like a different wrinkle.
Yeah,
so
sometimes
like the titles.
you gotta be tranquilo about stuff.
Gotta be a double champ sometimes.
I actually agree with your pick. I think that should finally happen for him.
Because then he'll face Jay White at Kingdom, right? Or does the Wrestle Kingdom champion get a shot at an earlier show?
No, because basically it'll be Okada. So you're gonna be facing off the champion at Wrestle Kingdom.
Okay.
January 4th.
I love Wrestle Kingdoms. Wrestle Kingdoms has been like kind of like a big thing over here.
Do y'all feel like Okada is the New Japan's John Cena?
No. I kind of see where you're going with that, but no. For me, I think he will be more of the equivalent of perhaps maybe like a Bret Hart.
Like a super technician and getting it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen Okada grow, and I've seen him in his like, you know,
line days,
his good days, like, you know, the last 3 years, you know, New Japan, and I seen him in his lows when he was doing some stuff with back in TNA, and it was terrible.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in TNA.
A lot of people forget.
He was in TNA,
and they fucking massacred him.
And that's why they still kind of have like a little beef with TNA, like
Yeah.
before they patched it up, because it was like we
Yeah.
loaned you homeboy, and you gonna treat him like that?
Yeah, because they had a thing with New Japan back then, and then
That's when
rightfully
your
so.
man Perk Angle had the New Japan belt.
Doing this Perk Angle.
Perk Angle, Percocet,
Percocet.
Molly Percocet.
I already forgot.
Like, I was-
TNA.
Somebody did like a video highlights of like the main event Mafia days, and I forgot, like, remember the promo, like they always like Booker T had his own room and him and Steiner was the champs,
Main event Watch Me was lit.
and then Booker T told him like, yo, you can't be having your hoes in here, man. And then Kirk Angle just did a whole promo, just perked up.
Nah. One thing about TNA, they had a lot of factions. And that's another thing too. People got tired because it was like every year it was always like some new faction coming to take over.
Even with some of the
TNA.
girls,
Like factions galore.
the beautiful people, they were trashy women.
Trash.
Yo, I've seen them in person at some of these WrestleCon, and it's just kind of like, I'm sorry, but I'm not into plastic. Like, it's bad.
Like Valerie and all of them, like all
It's
of them
like,
now just
ew.
look. You see their lips, like
Yo, it's
Oh
just
my God.
like, nah. With these huge fake double D tits. It's like, not my thing. Like they remind me of like when you start watching those old school biker movies, and it was got
type of girls.
Those type of girls, the blonde,
The big blonde hair.
with the big blonde hair, with the big boobs, you know, with the little flapjack, you know, booty. It's like,
what's going on over there, Dixie? What are you doing?
hey, she's gonna run the company soon. Don't talk about Dixie like that.
She's gonna be on SmackDown no time soon.
You know, Ethan wants on Auntie back.
I feel
Make
like,
him relevant again.
I told y'all this too. I feel like if she does come back and get paired up with him, that would be like a good juice. Because I know he's done over there. Like I think you put up the video
Since the day he came up, and they were making him like, oh, you know, we're gonna build up EC3, and it's like, okay, I'm still waiting for that. You guys are still loading.
Like he beat Ambrose, and then
maybe Paul Heyman whip him into shape on Raw.
Hopefully. Nah, because somebody had like a split from like a year ago entrance to now.
Yeah, I posted
like,
that up.
Yeah, and like he just,
I put it up from freshman year to like your senior year.
he was like, fuck this shit. I feel bad for him because he probably was having fun in NXT. He was getting used, and then he gets to the main roster.
No, because it was briefly, but he was getting his stuff. It was more like, hey, we want to bring you in. You know everything. We're gonna get your spots, and then it was the promise within a certain time you'll be up in the main roster, rightfully so. And then they kind of made him rinse his wild ideas because they made these NXT call-ups wild card. They weren't even assigned to a brand. So that's when that fucking.
That was like the first wild card.
Yeah, that was when that fucking junk happened.
And that's when like fucking Eric Young and them came up.
Nah, that was
No, it was no.
It was.
Was it
when Sanity and them came up in the like
No.
Sanity got drafted. You're talking about Heavy Machinery. That was like
that Heavy Machinery came up with that whole draft. Sanity came up actually on a call up. Was it after a SummerSlam or something like that?
No, it was a superstar. No, after SummerSlam because I think they came interfered.
But it's been bad.
Even Sanity too. Rest in peace, Sanity.
They split that team up.
The saddest thing about that, I remember the reports like when they were like first making headways, that was like Triple H's like baby.
Yeah, like,
his idea he was been having for a long time.
It worked, especially with Nikki Cross. Like she was a nice piece into it. Killian Dane, if you don't watch, they are now recently happily married.
Yep.
So kudos to them.
Congrats.
Lots of enthusiasm
really
here.
Too well, but this one.
But they split. Eric Young, he's pretty much cooked.
Yeah, he got a polo. He's stuff now.
It's kind of like, all right, we at least he got some screen time this past week.
Yeah.
Alexander Wolf joined the Imperial up in UK, NXT UK. So that's a really great faction. If you guys have not been watching NXT UK, do so. Support the brand.
Walter's house.
Walter.
Let me some Walter. Did they have like the 3-on-3 yet? British Strong Style?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
I thought that was coming up on a recent or like upcoming. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, that match, that event came out actually a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. I gotta get it.
I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was.
It was a banger.
It was definitely a banger. It was definitely a banger. That's when they introduced Alexander Wolf. Spoiler. You haven't watched it again. He became that fourth member of Imperial, so that was actually pretty cool.
So that's gonna be like the UK Undisputed Era.
Pretty much.
Baby.
But their whole entrance, it's fucking dope.
I gotta watch.
It's dope.
I haven't seen since the creation of this faction,
so you know what that means? It's gonna be Undisputed Era versus
We'll see.
At War of the Worlds? War Games? Ooh.
That would be nice.
Ooh. Yeah, because the thing is, if they're gonna keep Undisputed Era for another War Games, they've been in the last two.
Apparently, the way the machine has been working lately,
call up wild card.
They want to kind of call up Adam Cole,
baby.
But there's been no talks of bringing the rest of the group up.
Yo, bring me him with the championship.
Oh yeah, he's due for a call up. What do you go for? Baby, yeah. Bring that guy up.
Yo, he called Johnny
shit.
A broke boy the other day.
What was that?
He called Johnny a broke boy the other day.
Give me the one with the chance, the one baby.
That's some good shit. Good shit.
What's the other one? Flounder? Yeah, he could stay in NXT. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bobby Flounder?
No. Triple H like, nah, you're not fucking him up.
Triple H is like, no, you're not, because he's been very vocal.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of his babies.
He's just like, what are you doing?
When they come up, what are you going to do with them?
Like, it's been fucking brutal. What
that goes into our next topic. Fucking brutal.
What?
How I feel about this WWE product. This product is fucking brutal. As a wrestling fan for almost all my life, I have never been so disinterested and not caring about major angles. Like, you cannot tell me I have not had an angle where I legitimately care or like would like to see. The only one happened this past Tuesday with Nakamura and Balor.
I'm actually pretty excited for that. I got kind of pissed. Someone actually decided to say that no one is interested in this match. Ooh. And then these fucking stupid marks that don't know shit.
I'm actually excited for that. I don't know.
They're like, oh, we don't feel quite, invested in this because I want storylines and Shinsuke is not great on the mic. It's like, what the fuck does it have to do with anything? Oh, he's not a superstar. And this is kind of going back to that same clown.
That mentality.
That stupid fucking clown that decided to go on and say a whole bunch of fucking garbage. Even saying that someone like the likes of Bret Hart and HBK weren't great sellers in terms of bringing in money in. They weren't drawing. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
They actually kept the company afloat.
I mean, they wasn't drawing compared to Hogan,
no,
but they still was drawing.
But they were drawing, and he was like,
without HBK or Shawn Michaels, WWE wouldn't be around.
But to say, like, the fact that this clown decided to go on and say that they were not superstars because he claimed that Seth Rollins was a better draw than Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
That's not even something to even entertain.
What is wrong with you? Get off the weed.
That's something stronger than weed.
That comment itself was blasphemy.
The crack is sizzling.
Blasphemous.
Kids, if you're listening to this, crack is whack. Like, I really wanted to legit fucking punch this kid in the fucking face.
Booger sugar, nose candy.
Like, who the fuck says that?
Yeah, that was blasphemous.
Because his whole thing was just saying, oh, Seth is a better drawer. He's, more people are going to go and, and watch this match. And then he, of course, was saying, like, having him and Baron Corbin was more of a disrespect to Seth Rollins and all this shit. And I'm just kind of like...
He sounds like he's just a Seth Rollins stand.
What is wrong with you? Get off your fucking knees, bro.
He's a black stand.
That's what that was about. He was a Seth Rollins fan.
Black stand. But no, I want to get back into like this whole dysfunction now with WWE.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like Dolph Ziggler.
You know what it is?
I'm sorry, dogs.
No, it's not even Dolph Ziggler.
I'm sorry,
but it's this fucking wild card rule. This wild card rule is legit one of the worst things this company has ever thought of and actually executed.
Well, that's why we got some good news this
No.
week.
But let me see why this shit is so bad. Because I've thought about this and it's terrible. Roman Reigns was supposed to be the big acquisition on SmackDown. This nigga hasn't been on this show in a month. A month. Like, if he's a SmackDown star, why the hell is he on Raw? Why is he, even if he's on Raw and this whole wild card, at least put him back on SmackDown. And that goes into my other thing. Shane McMahon is feuding with Roman Reigns, a SmackDown superstar.
On your own brand.
On Raw. And he's feuding with Miz, a Raw superstar, on SmackDown.
I'm tired
He is thirsty for ratings.
I'm tired of Shane McMahon.
But not even. Like,
I'm tired of. Nah, hold up. I'm tired of Shane McMahon. Get the fuck off TV. I'm tired of him. Get out of here.
No logic in that. Like, even if you wanted to continue the Shane McMahon feuding with both of them, they had then keep them on the brand that they were on to make it sense. Like, Miz, a Raw SmackDown superstar, should not be his main shit. Should be SmackDown with Shane, and the same vice versa with Roman. Like, this shit is fucking
like
idiotic.
they should be certain things, like, for something like that, keep it on your brand.
Yeah, it was cool when Becky was the two-time champ.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It makes sense. It was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
She opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah.
No, it was just like, what is this?
As Vince said, this is good shit.
It's good shit, yeah.
This is good shit.
Yeah.
But not, and then the thing too with this wild card rule is taking opportunities from people. Like, I'm about to put a PSA out on Buddy Murphy. Where the fuck is Buddy?
Who knows?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Buddy Murphy can go. I feel bad that he got plucked from 205 Live. They was like, yeah, we're gonna put you in some matches. He comes to SmackDown.
This shit, they drag SmackDown down.
And then
SmackDown's been bad.
And I was just talking about with fucking Finn Balor and Nakamura. Before that promo, I forgot Finn Balor was even on the roster. I legit forgot all about our Intercontinental Champion. I was like, oh shit, Finn Balor, where have you been? I was like, oh, he's still around. Like, this shit is bad. This wild card rule. We remember the first night, only 3. What is it now?
Oh, you know what? It's had a 4th one in there.
What is it? Like half the roster like switches.
I'm pretty sure no way Jose was on fucking SmackDown and Raw.
But no, this shit has to go. Hopefully somebody at Fox, because I know like we said this before. Fox has said like we want our shit separate, so we probably have to go through this wild card rule for
through the summer.
Yeah, through the summer, and Fox is like putting the foot down. Like this shit, we want our own people. USA gets their own people.
Hopefully, you know the rest of the Coke Vince gets for the year stepped on because he's wilding right now.
That wild card rule. Now because that said the shit is taking me out. Like when I thought about that, I was like, that makes no sense. Like if Roman Reigns is a SmackDown superstar, why is he mainly featured on Raw? And if Miz is a Raw superstar, why is he on SmackDown? And then if he was gonna do that,
and then like on top of that, then you have Kofi on Raw, and it's just like, what are you guys fucking doing?
Yeah, and then you have like Alexa Bliss, a Raw woman, Raw superstar.
Yeah, then Bailey been on Raw more than SmackDown.
And then you got fucking Samoa Joe, Raw, going after like, what is going? That's how you know this company. They don't even know what's going on because it shows on TV. Like there is really no rhyme, no reason for nothing. For nothing.
Because Vince could get away with it. That's all.
He's not getting away because people are legit. And honestly, I think AEW came at the right time because now people is like, all right, have your wild card shit. Like we'll go through maybe another month or 2 of this bullshit, but come fall time, know where we're gonna be at TNT, and it ain't gonna be for basketball.
You're gonna have these guys on Twitter. Allow me to disclose my displeasure for this company. Me and my friend Mark gonna fucking cancel the WWE network. No, I'm not gonna. We're gonna riot.
We're gonna tweet about it.
No, but that's like Vince. They like, and the thing is, they giving AEW all this ammo. Like, if you really did like squander your competition, don't make your product so bad.
So you saying AEW has a 3-1 lead right now? Huh?
A 3-1 lead? I think they have a 2-1 lead. I won't say 3-1. I think they have a 2-1 lead.
So you're saying they better not fuck this up, huh?
If I have to see
Fest
for free.
Yeah, but they got a long way before anything else financially. You know,
because it is
they're
a TV
there.
show.
They are there, but they haven't really technically started. They have the great hype.
They have the ball.
They have the ball. It's still early in the game, so a lot of people are like. Some people are just like, okay, you know, WWE, they're gonna die, and then you have pro AEW, and then you have some people say AEW, they're garbage, they're just a T-shirt company.
Like, first of all, if you're an AEW fan or you like work for the company, you wouldn't want WWE to die because first, if they died off, guess what y'all gonna turn into? WWE.
It's good to have competition on both sides.
It really is. And at the same time, my opinion, there should be no pro or con versus whatever fucking company. Like, we're living in the last 3 or 4 years, wrestling has been rich. It's been for the guys, a lot of guys now, social media has done really good things for them, this way how they're marketing themselves. They're putting not only their brand out there, but they're also building up professional wrestling.
Yeah, because it's a lot of eyeballs out there.
It's a lot. There's a lot of talent out there, and granted, like you have these people like, oh yeah, he should. Like, I always hate the whole thing is like, oh yeah, he looks cool, he should come to WWE, and it's just like, why? So you guys can fucking shit on him and say, oh, he was only good from the indies, he wasn't that great, he couldn't cut it. Shut the fuck up and take notes, bitch.
But am I the only one feeling way about WWE right now? Like I said, I'm very.
I mean, everybody feels that way.
They're. I mean, it's been poopy.
Okay,
I haven't really bothered to really watch Raw or SmackDown like that.
Yeah.
Because SmackDown right now is becoming Raw Light, and that was
Raw Light. They've been coming the light skin
They
version.
destroyed my baby. They destroyed the A show.
It's becoming Tuesday night.
It really did. They really destroyed SmackDown.
And you would think, like, when we said when they got the roster, like, oh, SmackDown might do some shit.
They're like, but wait, there's more. And then we're gonna fucking switch this with the stupid wild card. And then all of a sudden, like, all this draft was also the one that made no fucking sense at all. More than half of those picks that apparently they quote unquote drafted didn't even fucking show up on their brand.
Yeah, not yet. Like I said, Buddy Murphy still hasn't, unless he opens up Aleister Black's door. But
Nah, it's gonna be somebody.
Let me in.
It's gonna be somebody that's already established in the main roster, because they're not gonna have somebody like Aleister Black come in who's a newbie versus another newbie. They gotta build him up.
True. Like I said, Aleister Black he's had these promos. He hasn't been in the ring. But
Who?
Yeah, him. Straight like that. You go like list of all SmackDown. You be like, who? They're not on TV. Like, don't draft these people and then give their time to Raw people. Like, that's what I'm saying. This has just been blowing my mind.
It's just it's been terrible. And this is kind of also what I feel about it, because a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, Vince McMahon should just die."
No, I wouldn't wish
You
that on
know,
him. Just maybe a step away.
no.
Go to XFL.
But then they're also saying, "Oh, he should step away. He should let Triple H." And this is how I look at it. Don't talk ill about the man. Granted, you know, he is stubborn. He is gonna have his last and final words. But at the end of the day, Vince he will surprise you with some good shit. And it's stuff that is like, the old man knows, you know, has been around. Is it ancient? Yes. But you know what? Out of those 5 times, that one time that he clicks, it's gold.
Yeah, like, for instance, business-wise, the company, the stocks is as high as ever. He just secured $2 billion deals. Two. Not one, two. Not one, two. You got his main stars popping up on ESPN. Got an ESPN deal.
Word.
They even had their own category.
Well, actually, last year they also had their SP, but now I think they have like 2 categories.
They had best WWE moment of the year and some other things. So
I think it was for best WWE superstar. But this is why I kind of hate this, because it became a WWE thing. Like, why is it just subject to that? Why not just open it up and have everybody?
I feel like once, because there's not like another.
Yeah, you can't do Impact.
US
like, people are not
based,
gonna know what that is. I seen people point that out, but
I think they'll probably open it up to like a wrestling moment. Or
I look at it like this, because they always have highlights and they'll always put up some sort of, I guess, trailer or whoever it is that's being nominated to do that. You know, but I also kind of get where you're going at. Like, not a lot of people are gonna know. Let's say if you were to go and let's say you throw in Johnny Havoc in there or some shit. Not a lot of people know who the fuck Johnny Havoc is.
Johnny Havoc.
And then, you know, like, hey, you know what? Some people would be like, you know, let me put some clips on there. Oh wow, he's great. But then you're also gonna have these people that are gonna probably like, I don't know who this guy is. He's probably some flip guy.
Yeah. Like, if you was the casual like sports fan and that segment came up, they're gonna probably know the WWE guys. Then they're gonna see these other companies and
who are these people?
Whatever.
Yeah, like, I think maybe next year, once everybody gets their foot in the ground, then we might have like a best wrestling moment of the year. But it'll be opened up.
I think that's the way. I think it should be that way.
But they still would have to establish a relationship with ESPN as well.
WWE does have the
well, that's where it is, and that's kind of where it becomes short-sighted in some ways. You know, and then some people, it becomes, you know, like the fans are voting for it. So you're going to have people who are going to be like, oh, yeah, they're going to vote for that one guy that everybody likes. And it's just like, yeah,
like
but was he
All-Star game?
And you got to realize, like, it took, like, WWE years just to establish this relationship with them.
Yeah, because ESPN, it was like during the Dark Ages, they wouldn't utter nothing about wrestling. They'd be like, WWE?
The only time they would ever touch it, if there was, like, some huge celebrity.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
wrestling was like super dirty over there.
Yeah, so it was just like, I mean, they barely fucking talk about fucking hockey. What makes you think they're gonna talk about wrestling sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, that goes again to Stephanie. She
I
delivers.
forgot about
She does a lot.
She
She
does
does
a
a
lot.
lot for the brand. Like she's legit. Like she's always carrying the. She's always the flag bearer of the company. Like she's like legit. Probably one of those very few people that I can say they actually are an ambassador of the brand.
And carrying their weight.
And
doing
carrying
it
the
well.
weight because she does a lot of promotional stuff. She's always doing everything for the company, whether it's charity, whether it's promoting certain events, in certain regions. So she does a lot.
She even set up, the documentary they doing now with 365.
Mm-hmm.
Like she got that submitted to the Emmys. Like they trying to get nominated for
Yeah,
Emmys now.
and she's done a lot. She's helped a lot of people on the way as well, getting them in. Even in small capacities as well.
Shout out to Stephanie. She's one of my, but that probably goes into our latest and breaking news. Yesterday there was a bombshell.
A bombshell, you say?
A bombshell. Chris put the theme song in the beginning, but Bischoff and Paul E are back.
Paulie Dangerous
It's like 2003 up in here.
bringing the fucking brick.
Shit, we got AOL back.
Fuck.
Yeah, they probably leaked that in the chat room. They're like, "Yo, what year is this?" Yo, honestly,
ASL.
if somebody had like
We all remember ASL.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if somebody probably had like a 20-year coma, and they woke up and they saw Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff back, and in the movies that's out now,
And
Toy Story, Lion King,
And
they were
somehow,
like,
and not only that, but you have USA still competing with TNT somehow.
if some in the
What?
90s, like we're like legit doing a whole. But I am excited for the news. I won't get too excited because, as every report says, Vince has the last word. So it's like,
I mean, I'm not too
see
sure.
what happens.
I'm not sure exactly at what capacity. I mean, we all know what their titles are, but I'm curious to know how hands-on. I know that they're also trying to set a lot of things up for when Vince has to leave because he's going to be more attentive to XFL.
Yeah, because the season starts when January, February.
Yeah, but it's not this year.
Like,
Nah.
on vacation.
When 2020, right?
Nah, I think
Next
20.
season.
Let me see. I feel like it's
I
20.
thought that was 2020.
I think was it 2020 or 2021? Because I know they're also trying to work something out with the NFL.
Oh, to try to be like their minor league system.
Kind of like
Yeah.
work out some sort of way where they'll have some guys.
It'll work out for all parties.
But then you're also gonna have people like, oh, so what if my guy gets injured?
Yeah,
There's a lot.
2020, right? Right after the Super Bowl. So, yeah, Vince is about to shift gears.
Yeah.
That's why after the SmackDown thing is like locked down with Fox.
With Fox, yeah.
He's going to probably step off the gas.
Like, deuces, y'all. Y'all run the company. Just send me some updates.
I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman would have never took the position
Unless he
if there
could
was
get
some type of
autonomy.
leeway. Not full
Not
leeway,
full autonomy,
but
like,
you know,
yeah,
some
first
type
have
of
to have-
compromise there.
I have control of somehow.
Yeah, something got to give. Like, maybe like Triple H is like, after he steps off, like, you got to report to Triple H and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we saw how that worked out last time with Paul Heyman, with creative, like ECW. Like, that turned into a whole big thing. You had this man crying in his last WWE video, setting up a match. That's how genius Paul. Like, this man was legit crying and still sold the match for a company that he was not going to be part of. Like, after that video,
Not only that, but he did a fucking awesome job.
with the relaunch
With-
or just dealing with the whole
What relaunch of what?
WWE ECW. Duh. He was still in creative. Like, that's why they clashed, because they told Paul, like, this
That's-
is.
That's all right. I got to set ground rules for this. I got to set ground rules. That show will never be mentioned on this podcast ever again after today.
Well, I like WWE. Nah, I don't
The
like
relaunch of
WWE. I
ECW,
didn't like it.
terrible.
It was probably like 6 episodes. The first, no, and the Ric Flair one with Big Show when he took the knee bump.
It was
from
fucking.
attacks.
It was awful.
I mean, they did the new breed.
Oh yeah.
It was awful too, because they brought back ECW. You know, ECW, weapons galore, hardcore.
It was
whatever.
great business-wise for WWE. You know, they put that in the game.
But
you
then-
know, everybody's going crazy
And then,
for that.
and then like
Plumbing, like the
under the rug, like all of a sudden,
yeah, the ratings started to
It was like,
plummet.
what? Because I remember I didn't watch for like 2 weeks, and then I remember, I think Sandman or somebody hit a chin. I heard like a DQ. I'm like, it's ECW. And it was like, hey, you know, it's not an Extremes Rules match. And I was like,
I mean, it was on Sci-Fi.
that too.
It was on Sci-Fi. That's what
But
you
that,
need to know
I think
about
that was after also like after the whole like when WWE was really getting a lot of like bad press.
And
from,
that heavyweight
other
title
shit.
was disgusting.
the old one.
And no, the one that they had for
The one
for
that-
the relaunch.
The one that Silcovelli Vince had on.
I will never take that serious at all.
Yeah, that silver one. That looked like some
It was
creative.
It looked like something that you would
2K.
that used to no, not on 2K. This was like on some Raw versus SmackDown or some SmackDown 3 type shit that you just created, and you didn't have enough time because you were just like, yo, I've already been working on this belt for like 3 hours. Fuck it, I'll go back and I'll put some colors into it. It just hit default. It was fucking garbage. And honestly, and it sucked because I know some people like Mark Henry,
trying their best to like really.
Big Show Lashley, I believe, was a champion at one point.
Taz was there before he passed.
Yeah, it was, but they weren't. It was a shitty fucking title.
Yeah, Ezekiel Jackson.
It should have just been one night stand. That's it. One night stand, and that one off.
When they did the second one night stand, it was cool. It didn't live up to the first one, but the second one was cool because the second one, that was when RVD actually was cashing in his Money in the Bank contract against John Cena, which was the atmosphere for that match was in fucking insane.
And it was impressive. That was the first time somebody was like, "I'll face you. You know the date.
Exactly.
The match. You know the date.
I'm bringing this home."
I think maybe it's like maybe like one or two other instances after that. I know Elias.
And then they started having Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and there was like nothing extreme.
December
to dismember.
That was probably the worst pay-per-view in WWE history. I don't think they talk about that. I think if you bring that up, like
the ECW, no, I know what you're talking about.
Going into that pay-per-view, I remember they only had 2 matches booked. They had the Extreme Elimination Chamber, and they had the Hardys versus Eminem. That was the only matches that was booked going into that pay-per-view that night.
That's bad.
So they legit had to fill.
The only good thing that came out of that was CM Punk rising up.
And Heyman actually wanted CM Punk to win that match, and then Vince was like, "No, let's put it on big." And that was the whole like, you know what?
Good shit.
I'm done. So somebody did get dismembered. It was Paul.
Your man Big Daddy V was on there.
Yeah, I forgot about Big Daddy
Sexual.
V. I missed the Vampire. Kevin Thorne was lit.
Yeah, and then that failed horribly. Kevin.
What's the other dude? Knox.
Kevin Knox?
Yeah, you
Kevin Knox.
I was say that's the
Mike
Knox. I don't know why Kevin Knox came into my mind.
Like, Kevin Knox.
It was Mike Knox.
Then CM Punk eventually took his chick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like one of the first storylines.
Kelly.
When she was doing the Extreme Expose, and my dumb ass 12-year-old thought they was actually gonna show some nudity. I was like, yo, they going.
He was just like, oh. No, but you know what though? I know what you mean because the way they had it set up was just like, oh wow, like they also kind of had like these very weird, awkward like dancing girls. Like,
the vintages. Remember that?
Like that was just like you're trying to make them like the Nitro girls. Like what the fuck is going on? What shit show?
I remember.
Like and also some you got the thirsty dudes is like, oh, it's gonna be HLA again. Some hot lesbian action.
They traded that show like Cinemax.
And they had. I remember that was like when they first launched. They had like strip poker. Balls Mahoney was like and then there was like you want to catch more, go to
balls.
I keep forgetting your RIP. It was like if you want to catch more, go to WWE.com. And I had dollar back then, so that wasn't happening.
he was like my funds weren't up there yet.
I couldn't wake up the house. What you doing on the computer?
I can imagine Vince. Imagine the Spice Channel with wrestling.
It's like we're gonna make this, and they had strip poker like in the middle of the ring, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
And they died like.
PAULHEYMAN was probably crying in the back.
No, he wanted nothing to do with it. He was like, I wanted to. It was like watching your baby get reborn, fucked, raped, killed
in front of your face.
In front of your face.
Why are you part of it?
And you're just like, I'm supposed to be running this, and I have no word into this.
The only thing about that, whatever that expression is, like if things were differently, is if RVD and Sabu didn't get caught, but like you know what, during when he was champion, because I think that was like the monkey wrench thrown into everything. Because once that happened, they had to take the belt off of him. He had to go away. Not let the Big Show so I would love to see in another universe like what would happen if RVD never got caught.
I think.
He'll still be high.
I think they still would have fucked it up anyway. Like,
yeah, it was just so terrible.
But
you had to pay the weed tax.
Maybe we should do an episode about WWE. That would be lit. Like a retrospective, the highs. What was it? The rise and fall and fall and fall.
RVD had plenty of highs.
I'm trying to think. It was another dude, Marcus Corvon. He was cool for like, and I think he went away for like his family. He had like the Alpha Pounce. The dude, he would throw you, and then with the show, he was from TNA.
Yes, Monty Brown. Yeah,
yes.
I remember.
That was my guy.
In
I remember.
ECW, but I think he had to go away because something happened with his family.
What was my man with the braids?
Elijah Burke.
Yeah,
Pope.
The Diet Rock. That was Diet Rock back in the day. Like, I'm pretty sure Vince saw Rock when he talked because he was like, you know what? Like, it kind of reminds me of Dwayne. Like, you know, he's kind of short and has braids. Like, nah, he has some Dwayne in him. But he
Good
was
shit.
weird.
It's good shit.
And I think Orlando Jordan was in there for no.
Yeah.
Before he dipped off into TNA with the whole motion gimmick.
poor man's Shelton Benjamin.
Poor man something, but I don't know if it was Shelton. He was good in the cabinet. That was the only time he was good.
He was no golden standard, I can tell you that.
Not at all.
But nah, it was a lit episode. I think this is probably the funniest. Before we dip off for you guys, today's marks a crazy milestone. Today's 21 years since Undertaker threw Mrs. Foley's baby boy. He was broken in half.
By God.
You know what I hate? Not that. You know what I hated? When Shane did the same spot at WrestleMania and Michael Cole just had to like throw Mankind in there. For the love of mankind. Like, okay, Michael Cole. We get it. We
all know who told him to spit that one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, we know who was in his ear on that one.
He was like, God damn it, Michael, say it. I don't want to. Say it now.
For the love of mankind.
For the love of mankind.
I was like, okay, Michael Cole. But yeah, that spot legit changed wrestling as a whole. Because after that spot, nothing really could top it. Like, that was legit, like, the golden bar spots, especially when wrestling was, like, hot. Because I remember I read, like, an article, like, after it happened at WC, like, a taping. Kevin Nash, they saw it, and it was like, we can't top this.
Yeah, that was like the red wedding of spots.
Like, they...
If you don't know what that means, that was Games of Thrones.
Nah, I remember that's when everybody died. That was, like, one of the few YouTube clips I checked out. But I remember when she said that, I was like, yeah. Because after that spot, it was everywhere. It was on VHS. Like, people was like, yo, this nigga got thrown from a sound.
People were literally scared of the Undertaker after that.
I would too. And I would say it was one of the few times in like wrestling when people be like, you know, it's fake. That's one time if somebody would see that, they'd be like, oh.
And then they would show that in commercials after that. Like, they kept showing that, like, don't try this at home. And then you see
that's fucking hypocrites. Don't try this at home. But yeah, he tried it. Because I think that was like the main spot. Like, they would show like an injury, and then after that it would be Mankind Foley.
You seeing the fucking thumbtacks coming out the nose and stuff.
No, it was his tooth.
Yeah, tooth.
Like, what I remember is that all that shit happened, and the bell never rung.
Nope.
Like, he went through a lot of shit
before the match even began.
Which was insane.
Shout out to whoever booked that.
I heard it was Foley. And then JR thought... The funny, when you think about it, when you go back and watch it, fucking JR really thought this nigga was dead. He was like, they killed him. Like, he was like, legit.
He announced that like that, like when Kennedy got assassinated. They killed him.
They killed him.
He's done.
I want to know what went through Mick Foley's mind and body, like
this shit lit, die lit.
I want to know when they orchestrated that whole thing, because he said too, like, he told Taker, you're throwing me off, and Taker was like, I'm not throwing you off, and he went up there, so Taker had to do it. Like, Taker didn't want to throw him off.
Like, throw me down, goddammit.
Taker's like, I ain't doing that.
And then the crazy thing also, that spot where he gets chokeslammed it wasn't planned. That just happened.
You talk about a shoot.
That's one of those.
And then Taker fucks up his ankle coming down.
Yeah. I know y'all wondering how I got here. Like before a movie, I know y'all wondering how.
On BET?
Yeah.
That if you wonder how it got here, this is how it happened. This is the story and how it all began.
That match, it didn't make Mick Foley, but it took him to like.
No, it did. Like, that was
God level.
He was underground, but that made him like the mainstream people was like, oh
and
shit.
Honestly, like, after that match, I respected that guy more than you can honestly imagine. Especially like
tooth coming out nose.
That was like not only that, but like he puts himself into some shit, like, physically. I'm like, if I was a performer, like, if I was a wrestler, like I would probably think about it like
Like,
2
all right,
times.
Chris, I'm going to say I'm gonna throw you off, and I'm gonna hit you.
Like,
What?
Like a lot of people, granted, give Austin, the credit for the company, bouncing back, but Mick Foley's spots like helped the company a lot.
And it's crazy. It's like you see him now, and he can barely walk.
Yeah.
Like he's like almost limping on the side. He's always has his Christmas shirts. Don't matter what year, don't matter what month, no matter what day, he's gonna be wearing a Christmas shirt.
His whole closet just full of them.
Yeah, as you said, like I feel like Mankind definitely is. I feel like he does get.
Think about it. When they took the ratings back,
I was about to say he is like an underrated hero. The Attitude Era, like he going from like
he's on the starting five.
A Christopher Nolan ideology. He wasn't the White Knight, but he was the Dark Knight. Like Austin was the White Knight, but Mick Foley, when you look at it, he was like the meat potato.
Yeah, somebody had to take them sacrifices.
Yeah, and that was also the turning point. Ones that were like, oh, and if you guys are interested, Mick Foley's gonna win their company title if you want to stay tuned, and a lot of people did.
Like looking back on that sentence, why would you say it? Like not like a hardcore cruiserweight?
I thought it was also pretty fucked up that you were.
Yeah, because that's like one of the rules back then. Like you didn't want to like
you didn't want to do that, but it was some scumbag shit where like every week there was like, oh, Monday Night Raw live, really? Okay, so we actually have their results. We sent the guy out. That's how it always started.
And guess who was watching Raw that night when they said that?
Yeah,
I mean, Paul Nitro, and I definitely turned over the Raw.
He was one of them.
And a lot of it started. It also started when Rick Rude jumped ship. That whole thing when I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. Because Raw was apparently airing and it was live.
Same week or same night.
And all of a sudden he shows up at Nitro on the same night. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's when Triple H had to pull up on them.
They was just like, nah.
So Vince came over with that no compete. He was like, hold up, y'all niggas.
Nah, I'm talking about when they had to pull up in the tank on them.
Nah, that's another thing too. I remember he said Kevin Nash wanted them to open up the door.
Yeah.
He was like, let him in.
Of course Nash gonna let him in. Let my bestie in.
It was like, no, we ain't, no.
Oh yeah.
I don't imagine who was like the intern to tell Bischoff though. Like, Bischoff, I think I'm the guy with the 3 H's and Generation X. They're outside with a tank.
Oh.
And the strong girl.
The man with the 3 H's.
They're like, what? I'm pretty sure Bischoff had like, I would love to be backstage at that taping, like just see how like shit was.
The only 2 people that was cool was Nash and Hall.
Like, yo, let him in. That would have been super funny if they did get let in.
Booker T was like,
I was always waiting for it.
That and that time Bischoff actually challenged McMahon to a match, but he said he didn't go because Stephanie was graduating that day. That is the McMahon. Like they said, Vince he would have went, but Stephanie was graduating from like Boston College or University that day, so he had to be with family.
Yo, Vince was in prom shape. Well, he still is, but
Yeah. And you ain't gonna find a lot of 72, 73-year-olds with.
Nah, Vince could go.
He can go.
He can go. Hopefully he can go to XFL and give us back our good creative. Okay. But no, that was episode 7 of the Go Home Show. Show was super lit, guys. I had a ball. I don't think I ever laughed this much. Like I'm missing like a kidney or something. Episode 8, we'll ever see happens in the wrestling world. There might be some more tweets.
get more developments on the Heyman and Bischoff thing.
See how that's going to turn out. SETHROLLINS.
See if R-Truth still has the belt.
Yeah, that's true. We should start every episode now. Then does R-Truth have the belt? Yes. Does he? No.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So it's episode 7 of the Go Home Show, guys. It's Teddy Lucid,
Money Mouth.
And I'm just Chris.
He's just Chris, and we out of here. Peace.
Ding.